Impact segment tonight, as we reported yesterday, some counties in California now sending condoms to children as young as 12 years old, free in the mail. And the taxpayers footing the bill under a program financed by the Centers for Disease Control. Also, California has banned tanning booths for people under 18, caffeinated beers. Children must remain in booster seats until they're 8 years old. San Francisco shops cannot give you disposable plastic bags, and fast food places like McDonald's can't give away toys unless a meal meets a nutritional requirement. Finally, according to a new poll, California gets the highest negative rating of any state in the union. Of course, the largest state in the union. Joining us now from Fort Worth, Texas, Janine Turner, who lived in California for 8 years, and Leslie Marshall, who still lives in Pasadena. All right, Leslie, so you like the nanny state, right? The more intrusion in your life, the better? Well, you like that? Right?
I like some of the things in this nanny state. Yes, I actually think the booster seats are a good idea. The bike helmets, the no smoking in public places, which they're even doing now in London and Paris. I'm not 100% on the condoms. I definitely, 16 and younger, have a problem with it as a mom. Not just a taxpayer, but as a mom, I have a problem with that.
But don't you get that California is now being regulated to death? Don't you get that? I mean, it's inconceivable that this condom program, for example, would be held in Georgia or Virginia or even New Hampshire. It would be impossible for that to happen. So the Centers for Disease Control say, where can we go to do this where everybody would like it? And it's here in California. Don't you understand?
I understand, but one of the areas in Northern California where they dispense the condoms is an area where they not only have an extremely high teen pregnancy rate, they have a high chlamydia rate.
We all know the rationale.
Among teenagers.
It is the intrusion, though. All right, Janine, now you lived here for 8 years, and then you migrated back home to your state in Texas, your home state. 69,000 other people did that in 2010. 69,000 Californians said, you know what? I'm going to Texas. Altogether, in 2010, latest we have, 200,000 left the Golden State, where in late February it is 78 degrees. All right? Beautiful mountains, ocean, and they go, hey, you know, it's too much. So did you leave because of the nanny state?
Yeah, well, I did, indirectly. I mean, the liberal progressive agenda didn't sit real well with my traditional values. But can I quote something, interestingly enough, from Federalist Paper 11, because I wrote 85 essays on the Federalist Papers. Alexander Hamilton was talking about England, and it's relevant to today. He said the superiority she has long enjoyed has tempted her to plume herself as the mistress of the world. And I think that's what's happening in California. They think, that government there, they think that they're just the mistress of not only Californians, but Americans. It's just government gone wild. And, you know, and as Leslie was talking about earlier about the car seats, they get to pick and choose which things they like. In other words, car seats for 8 years old, okay, that's good. But a child can get an abortion. A child can get an abortion at any age in California without parental consent.
I know. But the overall philosophy here, Leslie, is that the government knows best. That in Sacramento, we're so enlightened. We know best. But you know what the unintended consequence is?
Well, I'm sure you'll tell me.
The state is bankrupt.
Well,
because it costs money to implement all this crazy stuff.
No question. But you know, the voters speak, right? And the voters in this state, they vote for this governor. They vote for this legislature. They don't have any choice, though.
In order to run for governor here, you have to have buku dollars, and there is a minority level vote here that along the coast that shifts it to the left. Barack Obama could, I think, grow a beard and wear a little Fidel Castro hat, all right, and start speaking Spanish every day, and they'd still reelect him in this state.
Well, Southern California, you know, a lot of Spanish speakers, so I would agree with you on that, Bill. But, you know, in the state of California, there are, you know, even though you pay for it, you know, this get what you pay for, there is merit. There is merit. There are other states that follow us when it comes to smoking. Don't you want your kids around secondhand smoke?
That's a public health thing, and
you
I don't have
want your kids in tanning booths.
No. Well, look. If you're 18 or 17, the tanning booth thing is shit. But to implement all this stuff costs a fortune. Now, Janine, would you ever move back to California, or are you just done with it?
I'm done with it. No, I don't have any desire to move back to California. I'm one of those that I'm glad I hooked them when I did.
Now, why is it better for you in Texas? Why?
Well, because Texas still epitomizes the true grit, all-American spirit. It really, really does. I mean, don't mess with Texans. I mean, if you go up to my ranch, you hear guns popping around all the time. I'm almost ducking and rolling. But I'm like, okay, the Second Amendment's live and well.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Jan. I just want to get this straight. So the reason that you like it so much is because people are shooting at you and they haven't quite hit you yet. So it's a challenge. Life becomes a challenge.
Yes. They've got their guns. We have our Second Amendment right.
All right, ladies. Thanks very much. Directly ahead, John Stossel.